When Republicans overturned Roe v. Wade, they thought the issue was settled.
What an historic day this is, and what a great victory for life.
What they didn't expect was the people's response. People from all walks of life, all across the country, organizing in their states to codify abortion rights.
Voters in California, Michigan, Vermont, and Kentucky enshrined abortion protections in their state constitutions. In 6 states, new abortion bans have been blocked by state and county judges.
Ohioans are poised to be next, submitting nearly double the number of signatures needed to get an abortion protection measure on the November ballot. That is, until Ohio Republicans tried to change the rules mid-game, setting a dangerous precedent for the rest of the country.
Here's the situation. Ohio Republicans are holding a special election in August to raise the threshold of voters needed to pass a ballot initiative from 50 to 60%. The timing, in an off year when voters aren't paying attention, and that seemingly arbitrary percentage increase couldn't be more strategic. The abortion rights measure I mentioned, that's polling at 59%.
I think they think Ohioans are not nearly as smart as we are. This is about cutting off the people's right this November to have a say on whether or not abortion access is legal in Ohio.
That's author, activist, and former head of the Ohio Democratic Party, David Pepper, explaining the real reason for the August special election. But don't just take it from him. Here's the Republican Secretary of State of Ohio saying the quiet part out loud.
This is 100% about keeping a radical pro-abortion amendment out of our Constitution. The left wants to jam it in there this coming November. And so, yes, it's about abortion, but it's about so many other things as well.
On the record, Republicans claim this effort to up the amendment threshold is about protecting the state's constitution from out-of-state special interests.
Our state constitution is the supreme law of Ohio. It contains the fundamental principles by which we govern ourselves, and it should not be subject to societal and cultural whims.
But this claim is not only untrue, it's hypocritical, because out-of-state special interests are the very thing spearheading this special election. There are 2 main people you need to know about. Richard Uline is a Republican mega donor who gave $1 million to a newly formed super PAC that encouraged lawmakers to vote for the special election, sabotaging abortion rights. Uline is from Illinois, and he's the PAC's sole donor. You might recognize his name. Corrupting our democracy is sort of his thing. He and his wife spent more than $50 million during the 2022 election cycle alone.
This was not something that people in Ohio were demanding happen. No one's been running around Ohio in recent years saying, oh my gosh, the Constitution is weak and needs to be fixed. That hasn't been happening. This is a big money out of state, and it's part of a much bigger right-wing agenda that is pushing most of the issues they care about through gerrymandered state houses, largely against the will of the people of those very states.
The other big money interest behind this election is lobbyist Mike Gonidakis. He's the head of anti-abortion organization Ohio Right to Life, a key backer of the August election, and he's made a career out of saying things like this.
How many countless little girls are aborted every day in Ohio and the United States? That's the real war on women.
Ohio Right to Life has built a lot of political power in Ohio. Very connected at the state level, very connected with the leaders at the state house. And they said they wanted a special election, and there is a special election.
Ohio Right to Life announced earlier this year that it's the founder of a dark money coalition called Protect Women Ohio. They launched a $5 million ad campaign to defeat November's abortion amendment with ads like this one. Brace yourselves.
Your daughter's young, vulnerable, online. You fear the worst, pushed to change her sex or to get an abortion. You have some right to help her through this, but activists want to take all that away.
I have seen the ad before, and we know that they want to make this election about what it is not. They saw the excitement around our ballot initiative, all of the support that is being shown from citizens across Ohio that want to be able to vote in November to protect abortion access. And so they created a special election where they will change our Constitution, change our access to democracy so that they can prevent Ohioans from being able to make this personal decision themselves and to vote specifically for reproductive freedom.
Here lies the irony. In overturning Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority argued that, quote, the decision properly leaves the question of abortion for the people in the democratic process. But this conveniently timed special election proves Republicans don't want to leave anything to the will of the people unless the numbers are on their side.
This is basically saying to the people of Ohio, we may be the most corrupt state house in America. Give us more power. Take power from yourselves.
Corruption and lawlessness are nothing new, but that doesn't make this any less damning. Shortly before Republicans decided to hold this election, they had outlawed August elections because of low voter turnout. They're effectively breaking a law that they put in place by holding one. But that's how these Republicans work. When the rules no longer serve their interests, they change them. Can't win? Cheat. It's as simple as that.
We have lawlessness built upon lawlessness. So this is a group of people that themselves are in districts that violate the Ohio Constitution. And from their illegal districts, now they're breaking their own law about when an election can be held to try and change the Constitution so a majority of Ohioans can't protect choice this November.
The more the extreme right wing can't win over the majority with their cruel and unpopular ideas, the more we can expect them to pull out every dirty trick. And the most outrageous part is democracy has become so weak in states like Ohio that they can totally get away with it. Unless Ohioans show out in mass August 8th to protect their right to weigh in on one of the most important issues facing the state.
We have a very strong coalition, and the majority of Ohioans, when they have the opportunity to hear about the special election being, forced ahead of the November election, when they see what extreme politicians are willing to do, we know that Ohioans are going to turn out in August and vote no. So voting no in August is critical to being able to vote yes in November for reproductive freedom. It is essential that we win in August and essential that we win in November.
Republicans in Ohio and many across the country do not want you to make choices about your life, even if you're in the majority. And if you're in Ohio, you will be setting the stage, setting the precedent for how these ballot measures play out across the rest of the country.
If they are successful in moving this threshold to 60% to lock out the majority of Ohioans from weighing in on issues like this and others, you bet they're going to do it in other states. It will become the new best practice of how you protect their extremist agenda against the mainstream views of people like Ohio and other states. If it's successful here, they will do it elsewhere.
Thanks for watching our video. If you'd like to see more stories like this one, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to get more Perfect Union in your feed. And if there are stories you'd like for us to investigate, just drop them in the comments below.